Up my freaks, RuinusInsight here with part 24 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Skarbrand the Exiled Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, the newer armies got to play around. Moxia Scion Slayer and his Forsaken and Cows obliterated a bunch of the enemy Gobos, Kuchar the Bloodhunters, units all rode over the dwarfs that were trying to defend Xerixil, and there were many other fights, I'm sure. But we have many fights in pretty much every episode. In terms of what we got to do this time around, it is, if not quite completely a new turn, more or less one, so I guess there's things to do. Now, Skarby could easily take Grenstad. The only problem is we probably wouldn't be able to auto-resolve it, which I don't like, because obviously, you know, it's a tiny little army here. I guess we just wait for Tavi to come around and help. There's also a bunch of ooh. High-level Hellblasters, that I like to see. We got Steam Tank Riding Master Engineers. We got super high-level Outriders. Ooh, lots of the state troops. These guys have Halberdier or Demigryph Knights and the Royal Altdorf Griffites and the Hammer of the Witches. There's some good stuff here, and these guys seem to be spamming Demigryphs. It kind of makes me want to get some Skull Crushers in order to face up against them. Actually, speaking of, you two can now become at the very least Chaos Knights of, I'm gonna say Sword and Board for now. And then you need to be, again, rank 8. And, oh, you start at rank 0? Huh. I thought when they, Or is it just any extra ranks after the rank? I don't know, I guess it doesn't really matter. You're always going to be knights and hopefully eventually skull crushers. Colonels of Khorne and Anger Management. You are about time. It's time to go for you chosen. Like so, and you lose most of your points, but it is what it is. You'll earn them back, and you've certainly earned, you know, becoming chosen. These guys, however, the Sword and Board or Axe and Board will stay as Chaos Warriors. Hell Pit is where we are going. And I guess, by the looks of it, probably auto-resolvable? I don't imagine that they're Heroic Victory, eh? Maybe we fight it then, depending on if it's still a Pyrrhic Victory once you're in here. Yeah, still Pyrrhic Victory, and some of the dogs will die. Alright, we'll fight that in a sec. Let's see what else we've got. A Skarby, I guess what we're going to do is we're going to put you into raiding stance and just leave you here for a turn. I'd hate to lose Bloodletting and, you know, not have Skarbrand moving for a turn, but, you know, Skarbrand's had a lot of playtime, and others deserve at least something of a chance. Grawl the Blood Harvester, you're going this way, buddy. And in theory, Bloodbound will want to follow you, but he can't right now because he'll just get jumped by rats or ambushed by rats, and that ain't so great. Do we want to set up the demonic portal? I don't really want to lose the magics, but we're at +1 anyway, meaning we're safe, and this should prevent you from getting suddenly ambushed, or at least hopefully so. You, Eddie, are up here. Go into summoning stance, please, and then hit World's Edge Archway. Should be a quick little raise. I don't imagine there's much here. Well, I mean, it's mostly clan rats. I mean, we could fight it, but this is not going to be a difficult fight by any means. It's an unwalled miner settlement, and you have the cultists now, so you should heal up quickly, so I think we'll just auto-resolve. Alright, like so, and we will raise it for the Skull Throne this time. And get some of those skulls back. Should have healing. Okay, let's level you. Yeah, there we go. I shouldn't have forgotten about that. And then brass collar for you, sir. And I mean, I guess we're waiting for Revelrous Warhost, so you can sit back and wait on the rest of those. What about the rest of you guys? Exalted Hero. As tempting as Chaos Strategist may be, we're still gonna go for Chaos Commander and fill the Chalice for the enemy fire weakness, and I think I use Raging Stalwart on these guys usually, and then we'll go for Brass Collar. We do fire damage after all on the Forsaken, and these two. That's something. A portion of our army does enough fire damage for us to be worth our time. Again, fill the Chalice and Brass Collar for the fire weakness. I guess we could start putting points in training, but let's get Magicka's weakness for the additional movement range as well. And then you, Eddie. I guess we could go to Greater Locus. You will probably want to get Locus of Wrath. Like so, and then Greater Locus, and I'm going to say... Wait. I don't think anything here is needed, is it? By the looks of it, no, at least not in this army. Alright, you should probably get thick skin. I might keep you on the blood throne in this particular army because we don't otherwise have a blood throne and therefore, well, we might need one. Oh. Actually, just by raising that, I just realized that we own no territory in this particular... do we go back and occupy the high place then? That's kind of annoying. We could go up here and grab Mount Gunbad, but we should really knock out the rats before we do anything else. Damn it, alright, fine. Occupy high place. I guess we raised that for skulls for a reason. And then this will self-colonize. Alright, let's do that, and then I guess we need to heal anyway, so whatever. Good enough. Okay, dokie. Skarby is good. Who else still needs to move? Pav the Storm Ravens. Yeah, we're about to fight that, because we didn't fight that. Gulgast. You are headed to Karakazorn. Alright. I wonder whether we should grab Valley of Horns. Wait. Grab Azorn. What do we have here? Defenses worth our time? The thing is, Gulgas has just fought ogres of similar caliber armies like 3 times in a row, though this is a walled settlement, so it might be tougher just by virtue of that. I will think about it. Let's leave him besieged. And see what else we have to play around with. And before we make our decision. The Gore Masters, you're stuck where you are. Moxia, you are supposed to start heading towards Mr. Belagar, so start moving towards him. Don't bother changing stances. And what do we have here? Oh, these guys are okay. Kuchar, I would like you to go this way. In raiding stance, and what the heck? Okay, why did it change menus all of a sudden? Game. Why you do this? Who is Deffelson? Oh, right, you are, yeah, okay. If you get attacked by rats, you get attacked by rats. There's nothing we can do about it. You're fine, and alright. Well, I guess we're fighting then. I mean, I guess we were always going to be fighting, but you know what I mean. Arbol, I guess you're in, buddy. You have a few points to spend by the looks of it. Let's spend them. Been a bit before your Cincy Water resolve, but admittedly, you level really quickly right now thanks to Prophet, so we've had a few turns, but we need to get your mana back also, pretty desperately. Khorne's Chosen, obviously, Fight or Die, obviously, and Overwhelming Stampede. Though these guys won't benefit from the levels. At least yet. There's nothing else in here that we need? I believe not. You're just using basically all mortal units. Oh wait, we have the Flesh Hounds in here, but they do get benefits out of Overwhelming Stampede. Ferocious Hunters is Flesh Hounds, and yeah, got everything. Alright, so then we'll go for Brass Collar. I love Thick Skin, but we might as well start making Arbol to be out an even stronger fighter. Let's go Kill and Maim and Bloodthirst. And we should go towards Deathbringers, so let's go for Cleave, and then we'll go for Murder and such next. Alright, what about you two cultists? Replenish Troops is good. I believe I always do Aspirant because of the additional character XP gain. I don't really care about Killing Blow, but character XP gain per turn, accompanying Lord. I mean, that's fine. Wait, do we need this in this particular army? I don't believe we do. Men of the Hound does nothing for any of these guys, right? Well, I mean, technically it would buff the Marauder Horseman, but otherwise there's none of those in this army. So, we'll go for Aspirant, and we need God's Pact, so let's go for Twisted Artifacts. And to God's Pact, we definitely want Brass Collar. We will want Renowned and Feared into Esteemed Combatant. Retinue Trainer doesn't matter that much, but it matters a little. So I guess we'll do Thick-Skinned into 1 point in... Retinue Guard, whatever, Retinue Trainer. Alrighty, then the Exalted Hero. See, and this is why I like to leave the level ups for a while, because if we did it every single time these guys leveled up, it would be every single turn of every single lord and hero of every single army. It's just way too much of a time sink, especially when we're using buffs. Anyway, you will go Aspirant again, you will go for Twisted Artifacts, God's Pact, Brass Collar, Thick Skin, same stuff as the other guy did, Esteemed Combatant, Bard, and Retinue Trainer. Perfection. Alrighty, do we need to level Pav? Yeah, he's got a few points himself, but the thing about him is that we don't know what kind of stuff he's going to use in his army, if he even gets an army. Right now he's just leeching, so I guess we'll just fight it. Yeah, alright.
mighty slaughter, and you may challenge me!
Alrighty, here we go. We've got Boris and his defenders, and they have walls to hide behind, but unfortunately for them, Arbol does have the two giants in this particular army. I'd still prefer two Norscan giants because they're better, but these will serve for now in terms of breaking down the enemy walls. And frankly, they've been with us so long that they're fairly high veterancy now, and I don't know, probably no need to get rid of them, even if Wild Roar is vastly inferior compared to whatever the other thing was. Especially since Wild Roar gives you the speed and charge bonus, but you have to be engaged in melee to use it. It's effectively a useless, ability. The rally aspect might be okay if you're using a really low leadership army, or maybe even interspersing them with some demonic troops to prevent them from melting away, but otherwise, very much meh compared to the Norscan one, which gives you defensive stats. But anyway, the giants should work their way through the walls reasonably quick because, well, Arbol will take a while to work his way through that gate, and already has been doing so, while the rest of our forces are moving up. They're going to take some damage, both from the enemy's spell work and... spell work? Oh, there. Oh, wow. That is not how you want to use wind spells, but okay. The AI is really weird about the way that it uses wind spells. Sometimes it lands them exactly right, and then about 75% of the time it does it sort of perpendicular to the deployment, and then it does nothing effectively. But whatever. Anyway, not our problem right now. We've got... okay, you know what? I'm just going to speed this up a little bit while we work our way through those walls and the gate, and it looks like Arbol is through. I don't think he's actually broken through the gate yet. No. It looks like enemies have moved towards him, including a Frost Maiden to lead the Akshina ambushers for some reason. I think perhaps they just went into rampage due to axes being chucked at them by the Marauder Horsemen, of which we will soon no longer have any because they will be upgraded tonight. And hey, it looks like the giants are through, the walls have been breached, and now the Khornate warriors are waiting behind them to move on in. There we go, or the Chosen actually, now that they've evolved. Plus, now that we've got breaches, we can get our units of Skull Crushers and our newly minted Chaos Knights to make their way forward. And this is the sword and board variant of knights, so they should be able to stick around in combat for a fair bit of time. Alright, the giants are first in, I guess after Arbol. And now the gate has actually been destroyed now, despite the fighting. I suppose the Akshina ambushers weren't going to be all that threatening in melee anyway, so all good. First of our units of Chosen have smashed into the enemy ranks and are going to start cutting down the various types of... I'm primarily saying Kossars and not Zargard. While the other unit of Chosen does manage to get around, and there's some Zargard. Let's start cutting them apart. Alright. That looks pretty good. Plus, now we've got the fast movers coming in. So here come the Knights of the Brazen Throne to lead. We're going to wait a little bit with the regular Chaos Knights and get more of our Chaos Warriors in there. It looks like an enemy has arrived with a Frostworm, but unlike the vanilla Frostworm, which is an anti-large specialist, and these guys are mini Mortis engines in SFO, and certainly would be devastating if we allowed it to stay in combat, but the single entity damage that the Giant has should allow it to bring Big Boy down here without too much trouble. In the meantime, Arbol has found the enemy lord, an Ataman, certainly a rare sight on the battlefield at any rate. And does a little bit of damage to him, and then decides to back off and murder some Zargard for some reason. Fair enough. A Gate of Khorne opens to summon a bloodthirster on the field, and I believe we should have another one on field in moments as well. All the while, the poor Kossar defenders are getting absolutely obliterated. Boris Ursus has not been defending the main line, perhaps foolishly, as he certainly could have added his abilities. He does have an area of effect as well, the Shard Blade. But oh well. Now he's going to have to, if he wants to hold this bridge, contend with these two Bloodthirsters, which we may as well send against him. Why not Arbol? because Arbal has personally defeated Boris twice already, and he's got nothing to prove there. And there we go, Boris has lost about 25, maybe even 30% of his HP to the two bloodthirsters, but more importantly, they're keeping him busy while the Chaos Knights move past him and towards the enemy range units that are still firing across the bridge. There we go. And Arbal will again move past Boris towards all the other units to lead his knights into combat. Boris is now down to 25% of his HP, but yeah, having to fight two bloodthirsters at the same time is not a good time for most things. And they got a solid 25 anti-large bonus, and down goes Boris, absolutely annihilated. And he's high level too. Alright, while the knights are here, the enemy has failed to defend the breaches in the walls and the gate, and now it's just a matter of time, though the enemy will buy some time by activating Crystal Sanctuary, which makes all of their units down here invulnerable. I feel like the game really needs more banners like this, but like... Wasn't there a mod? I remember there was a mod in Total Warhammer 2 that gave units, like, some units hold banners like this. Like, there'd be a banner carrier in, I think, every infantry unit or something like that. I don't know if that mod still exists, but I really miss it. Arbal actually looks kind of silly, like I like the banner itself, but it's way too big for the size of his, mount. If his mount was at least 2 or 3 times bigger, then yeah, the size of that banner would make sense, but things like a sail, and it's the size of Arbal and his mount himself. But anyway. All I'm saying is I'd like a banner carrier for all of our infantry units and our Chaos Knights and whatnot. Or at least some, like, I don't know, chaotic pinions to... Is that what those called? Like little things on the lances or something? Little mini banners. I mean, come on. Anyway, not super important. The bounce power shifts to about 85% in our favor. The Chaos Knights are cutting down droves of the remaining Kossars. And the Giants have arrived once more as well. And, ooh, wouldn't you know it, one of the Frost Maidens is still here. Together with one of the, well, not here anymore, but with another one of those Snow Leopards. Arbal has also summoned his second Chaos spawn. I think I missed the first summon using his Eye of Chaos ability? Whatever his ability is called. It's actually rather extremely useful against Kislev in particular, because once a unit hits 20%, you can instantly delete the unit, so you don't have to wait until you cut it down. And it's annoying with unbreakable units or units with By Our Blood to have to go after the last unit, especially when they all have a tendency to get mobbed and everybody's blocking each other. But when you use that Chaos Spawn summoning, they're gone like that. Speaking of being gone like that, with that the enemy army shatters and only the unbreakable unit remains. Of course, the Frostworm is an elemental instability, so like a demonic unit, it will soon disappear into nothing. As soon as somebody can actually attack it. And down it goes. You gotta admit, it's a pretty neat death animation. Very bright. Anyway, with that, Boris's defense fails and the battle is ours. And we took some damage here, clearly, especially on the approach under fire from all those range units, but a pretty great fight. Alrighty, there we go. Very nice. And another Crown of Command. What's the likelihood we get another portal glyph out of this? 29k. Not bad favor-wise for the battle. We got solid work out of Exiles of Khorne, though losing out to anger management in terms of kills there. One of the Chaos Knights at 21k. Pretty solid, but obviously not matching the, unsurprisingly, Skull Crushers. And hoping to be Skull Crushers themselves, so they have something to aspire to. We will... I mean, I guess if we sack it, we can keep moving, so I think that's what we'll do. We'll sack the place. Then we'll have Mr. Pav occupy the place. Like so. And I'm just going to hope that there isn't another enemy stack that's in range to punish us for doing that. And then, yes, we are just in range of Fortress Strosk. Ah, which is also a capital. I don't really want to occupy it, so we'll auto-resolve it, we'll take some damage, and we'll raise it. We can't do any blood hosts, much as I'd like to here, just by virtue of the fact that they'll take all of our, whatchamacallit, you know, the thing. The thing? The capacity, that's the word. Alright, that was more difficult than it needed to be. Anyway, we'll head to Zoishank next. Pav, you're good. You can repair, and then we'll switch you to the Immortal building afterwards. Alrighty, then I think since we fought that one, Golgast, I think you could just auto-resolve what remains of this. We have fought the ogres enough such that this isn't really worth our time, especially since it's only one stack. Yeah, it's behind walls, but we've fought 2.5 stacks similar to this, led by Grease's Goldtooth, and came out ahead, so I don't think that, contrary to what the auto-resolve says, that this is worth our time, so we'll auto-resolve it. We'll take some... Oh, wow, that poor cultist. We'll take some damage, and we will occupy it because we want to trade it, so... Ooh. 31k to sack it, though. And 17k for a Skullage. You know, we'll sack it and then we'll occupy it. At the end of the day, it's still an ogre territory, so it wasn't going to be a high tier anyway. Alright, we'll repair this, we'll replace this with the military structure. Goldtooth destroyed, there we go. And then what I'd like to see if we can trade Carrick Azorn for the Maw Gate.
A fine host buddy you are, if I were inclined.
Yes, we can. And vassalage. Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting that, but... okay, fine. Like I said, I don't really have any intent on fighting this guy right now, so we'll just... Yeah, you can leave this territory, and you can go into Nun's Stance, and then we'll do the trade. So, Azorn, for Mawgate, and vassalage.
Fear not. I won't jump down your throat.
The Tormentors will be upset about it, but you know what? Upsetting Slaanesh is what Khorne does best, or one of the things. I guess he's okay at taking skulls, or so I hear. Carrick Azorn for the Mawgate, and vassalage of Tamarkan. Again, it's mostly just because I don't want to fight him. Well, it's not even that I don't want to fight him, it's that we don't have time to fight him. So it is what it is. The Mawgate, however, you will need to be defensified, and in theory, Nobbly Gorge does as well in case they attack us here, so they could very well just go past it. The AI has a irritating tendency to do that. What's the likelihood that this guy occupies... Valley of Horns. He doesn't hate us for any reason, right? Nah, he's good. I just want to see what territory we're looking at here. Beautiful. He doesn't have any iron. In fact, he doesn't have anything that we would want. So yeah, it's just he can freely occupy the territory that we don't need. Crookback Mountain has iron, which we would want, but we're close enough to the end of the campaign now, since engagement has dropped off a cliff, that it really doesn't matter much either. I believe that's it, minus the possibility of building, which I would imagine we don't have a lot of. Black Tower of Arcan to tier 5, please. Atalan Mountains to tier 5, go figure. Hey, we're now getting all the tier 5s we could want, but... well, unsurprisingly, at the end of the campaign. Yeah, grab the Dimensional Breach here. I was going to switch this to Mortal Buildings, but then, whatever. Alrighty, Infernal Citadel. And what do we have here? I'm going to go with Spices first. Why Spices? One melee attack faction wide. Just a little bit of benefit from it, why not? Alright. And I don't really think that anything of Nurgle's we would want in our armies. So I'm not going to bother building an outpost. I mean, admittedly, the Toad Dragons would kind of work with the Jabberslights, but at the same time, it would take so long to get to them allegiance-wise that I don't see the point. Therefore, we can skip, not the commandments. We'll go for Blood Tributes, and more commandments? Oh, Help It, yeah, okay. Blood Tributes, and no more commandments. Unholy Manifestations, well, we can wait. I guess we could also put it on cooldown. Well, you know what? We'll put Khorne's Glare on cooldown. Because this is going to bother me, and it's going to get filled with rats if we... Oh, I could have used this to grab World's Edge Archway instead of moving you back, or even the High Place instead of moving you back this way. Also, I just don't want the rats to go there. Watch them appear here as well. Now, you know what? Save it. At least this way we can see where there are and aren't rats. So end turn. Yes. Yes. Skarbrand will move very, very slightly. Ingra of the Vargs. I don't know who you are. Also interested to see where the Imperials go from here. I'm very interested to... Oh. Our Slice Blade will indeed attack Ashridge Mountains. I am pleasantly surprised we'll fight this. We rarely get a defensive, in fact, I think this is the owner minor settlement defense that we've ever had. Right? Unless I'm mistaken? Fight it, go.
All of you who fail here will suffer his wrath. None will survive it.
Alright, it's rare that we get to use these meatballs, so we're going to get some use hopefully out of them here. Plus, we got a cultist as well as a blood speaker actually on foot. I do enjoy having them fight on foot, of course, just for, appearance's sake and all that. Plus, the regular cultists look great in terms of, like, leading marauder units. But then, I mean, having them on the War Shrine is effectively 2 birds with 1 stone, right? So it's I don't know, it feels weird not to mount them on the War Shrine. Kind of like Necromancers and not being on a corpse cart. But anyway, I digress. We have the enemy deployed in 3 different sort of entrances to our settlement, with all of the reinforcements coming in at another one. So the vast majority of our deployment will be where the reinforcements are coming in, since they'll be concentrated in one area. Over on this side, the enemy has Rick Sliceblade himself plus 2 warp grinders and a storm vermin unit, and we just have these 4 to defend, the 2 spawn and the 2 heroes. Why? Because the blood speaker has the single entity healing blood sacrifice. I'm hoping that we can hold the line, not get too damaged by the warp grinders, all the while the shooting tower helps do the damage. Here we have a few units, but they're not as critical. Most importantly, over on this entire side of the map is where we deployed all of our fast movers, so our bloodletters, our furies, our dogs, our Gorby's chariots, our blood shrine, etc., as opposed to all the chaos warriors and stuff on that side, because once we take out everybody here, we will want to be able to move to all the other side, and the slow moving chaos warriors would simply not be able to do that. Anyway, bit of a description, but with the deployment and battle happening at 4 different sides, you gotta do what you gotta do. Anyway, the Gorby's chariots move into the blood shrines, trying to annoy the enemy storm vermin and kill the dogs, and then back out before too many of the Gorby's chariots are killed like so by the annoying enemy packmaster. Enemy will drop a warp lightning upon one of our exalted bloodletters, which is a much bigger threat than the summoned wolf rats, while our units of fleshhounds quickly take care of the rattling guns and then back off. Here we're going to have a rather nice duel, Exalted Bloodletters versus Plague Monks, in theory, This is actually a very interesting one. We have armor-piercing great weapons. The enemy has fast attacks, dual weapons, and no armor to speak of. Rock, paper, scissors-wise, they do have some advantage, but we are much killier with the Exalted Bloodletters than the Plague Monks are, in theory. Although, actually, we have 56 melee attack and the Plague Monks have 70. Maybe not so much killier. Good figure. Well, we do have 60 weapon strength, the enemy has 53, and with their fast attacks. Yeah, like I said, it's an interesting matchup. They may be low tier, but in terms of cost, I think enemy carries this, but they will probably lose in terms of our unit being stronger than theirs. Anyway, the other unit of Exalted Bloodletters moves to surround and destroy that Warlock Engineer. Since they're heavily armored, I didn't want to send the Fleshhounds or Furies, as they would take too long. Looks like the enemy units have been by and large sent packing, and the Packmaster at last surrounded and destroyed and exploded. It looks like the battle is carried over on that side of the map, and over on this side, Rick Sliceblade is still fighting. We're keeping the Bloodspeaker out of the fight just a little while, because we need to make sure that he can cast his blood sacrifice on these units. And while everybody is being pinned in place by the meatballs and by the cultist, we do have the tower firing down upon them, and the chaos spawn occasionally popping off their explosions as they lose HP. I wonder, will those abilities reactivate if we heal them up? Like, if we use the Blood Speaker's ability and then get them back over 50%, well, and then it goes back down below 50%, will it explode again? I don't know. I've never tried. Only something. Anyway, this unit is just about done with 200 HP, just a sliver remaining, and desperately with 50%, 1% HP remaining. Well, it had 50%, then we pop Wild Abandon and it cannot die, so another 30 seconds it has of whacking away at the enemy. Rookrick Slice Blade flees with 20% of his HP remaining, while the fight yet continues. And the enemy reinforcements have arrived, but are not yet attacking. In fact, a lot of them are bunching up, blobbing up around the Plague Claw catapults, who are bombarding our battle line of Chaos Warriors. I wanted to immediately drop the Chaos Furies upon them. Actually, I wanted to hide them in this little crevasse, or whatever you want to call this. But unfortunately, it looks like this is a lie, as in, there are some places where you can actually go down here with your flyers. Actually, there are lots of maps where you can, but in this one, this is actually just ground. It's just invisible. Which is a shame. Give more tactical options to the flyers. Let them work in 3 dimensions a little bit more. It may not be a space game, but nonetheless. Anyway, looks like Rookrick Slice Blade is back, but he won't be back for long, and the Spawn of Khorne is still somehow alive. It looks like Rookrick flees just before just before delivering the final blow to that 1 HP spot, and then gets obliterated by it. Fantastic. Murderous Exhortations will also pop up and help us take everybody else out. Lovely. It looks like the rest of the enemy army is annoyed enough now to start moving towards us and abandoning their artillery pieces, which admittedly are not having a great time in terms of killing these Chaos Warriors. Their accuracy obviously leaves something to be desired, but that's that's just generally speaking the case for the Plague Claw catapults, and it won't matter for all that much longer anyway. I did pop off the Swig of Fury upon them. I was hoping that the Rampage would get them off of their artillery pieces and rampage into the fray, but unfortunately it doesn't work, in the sense that the Rampage needs to be closer to actually select a target by the looks of it. So the units won't get off of their artillery pieces and they'll actually just sit there. Oh well. If the rest of the enemies engage our battle line, we should be able to hit them with the Furies anyway. Alright, 3 entrances now secured, enemy lord killed off, and 1 entrance remains. The Doom Wheel moves through our battle lines, but that's why we kept 2 units of halberd-wielding Chaos Warriors in reserve right here, waiting for when the Doom Wheel would come through and then surround it. And oh wow, those Plague Claw catapults appear to be damaging the rats more than not. You know what? That's lore accurate. There's always more rats after all. Anyway, we'll try to run past the Doom Wheel with our Chaos Warriors of Khorne with dual weapons to cut down those rats all that much faster, while the Halberds surround and destroy the Doom Wheel. Our Furies hit the enemy artillery pieces and silence those crews. Probably not for good, as they'll most likely escape, as we can't kill them fast enough, but it won't matter. The enemy numbers are rapidly dwindling at this point. The Doom Wheel gets surrounded by all those anti-large Halberds and is now below half of its HP and is broken and attempting to book it on out of there. And I really don't see the Chaos Warriors taking this position. The rats rather. The rats taking this slightly elevated position from Chaos Warriors of Khorne. We've got the armor, we got tower support, and the enemy has little left in the way of support themselves. Just a matter of time now. Nice to see those Plague Monks and Storm Vermin working together, but it looks like the Storm Vermin will abandon their comrades as they shatter and only the unbreakable Plague Monks remain. They did lose their duel against the Exalted Bloodletters, but did do a fair bit of damage to them. I don't know which one it was, probably the one with more kills. Let's see, 140, yeah, it's probably this one. Yeah, see, it's got about 30% HP remaining after wiping out that entire unit one-on-one. Pretty good. I do enjoy seeing the units directly fight each other like that. Yeah, 140 kills, 140 Plague Monks. But like I said, I think it's a pretty good trade. A single unit of Plague Monks for a single unit of Exalted Bloodletters. As in a pretty good trade for the Skaven, less so for us. Alrighty, and the last of the poor little ratties are getting executed now, though frankly we're just trying to make our way past them a teensy bit, just to chase down whatever units we can here. There we go. And the last of the Plague Monks are cut down, and with that, the battle is well and truly ours. Nice defense, and a rarely seen minor settlement defense is not something I would have liked to complete the campaign with that. Alright, there we go. An interesting little fight with some solid rock, paper, scissorsing, and defending against different types of units at all 4 entrances to the settlement. Rickrick's Slice Blade has been destroyed, and I would imagine the rest of what remains here is no longer viable to annoy us. They will probably raid us, but I'm not sure that we care all that much, so I guess we're all good. We will take the healing money to literally doesn't matter. Alright, and with that major threat destroyed, that means our other army is free to move towards Crookback Mountain. Grom the Paunch, you want a non-aggression pact. I'm actually kind of impressed that you're still alive. If we had more time, you would not continue to be. Anyway, Wolfric the Wanderer, you want us to join the war against Reichland? Soon, buddy, soon. Very soon indeed. And will anybody else try to attack us? By the looks of it, not so much. Alright, Alabigans, Outpost Construction, Chaos Steed, Master Mason, Speed for Blood Hosts. Not that we're really using them. Let's go through Denying the Warp and ignore the Pillar of Prowess. Pride feels more like a Slaneshi thing, but I guess it would be Martial Pride here, but anyway. And Grief and the Ancestral Throng pieced out. I'm actually also impressed that the Ancestral Throng has managed to survive. They're not in a very good position to not get attacked by a million billion enemies, so yeah. Anyway, I would like to check first of all. So neither of you are ready, unfortunately. You can just keep recruiting as you currently are. However, I would like... let's go to Eckendorf. Let's grab... somebody. Secret Battle. Mauler. I'm gonna say you, Mauler. Then, not that the, whatever, just grab you. Then we are going to go into the Skull Throne. Then we are going to go into this one, Bread and Bloodshed, like so. Then, because it takes a million billion years to get here otherwise, we will go towards our first 2 Slaughter Brutes. It'll take 5 turns to get them on field. Yeah, again, I said at the very start, the Slaughter Brutes is the only unit I don't promise, and it's the only unit that we haven't really had a chance to see at all. But it's, I don't know, it's kind of the way of things with Khorne campaigns. You can get every other unit, but Slaughter Brutes, good luck. It takes absolute ages to get to tier 5. Alright, Vashnar, your army is missing 1 exalted hero with menace. You are also a menace, so if we could just find an exalted hero with menace, we would be good. Bloodright. Not what I was looking for. Let's delete you. We still are looking for heroes. You are of the Brawler variety. Okay, you go here. Wait. You are what? I'm not blood. Okay, you go here. You go here. What do we have cultist-wise? We do have another menace. Not necessarily for that army, but always... Wait, actually. Yeah, menace is good enough to basically be in any army, so yeah, that's fine. And I don't like Skull Belt for you, so I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm actually not sure that we need another Blood Reaper in any of these armies, so we'll just leave it alone for now. Alrighty then. Tavi and Skarby. I'm gonna need you to start moving, but you're gonna have to move together for a little while, just by virtue of the fact that we have, well, no real choice in the matter. You're waiting for a bunch of units to come here. I guess Kagan Ironcast can leech. Skarby, we'll have you take out Grenstad. And we'll see how these guys react to it. Oh, they're actually in range of Tavi. What's the likelihood that they actually move towards us? You are allied with Ice Court and Nordland. Good for you. Declare war. Do we want to call allies? Worldwalkers, Harbinger? Yeah, sure, why not?
A weak order.
Alright, a weak order. Ally missions. Belagar. Yes. Missions. Zubaran. Yeah, sure. You. How about Contagiake? How about... I'm gonna say Zubaran again, because he's definitely gonna die. Because he's the last unit. Now you... Oh, I just realized something. You're not gonna be able to attack this because we can't besiege it. I mean, we can besiege... You know what I mean. You go here. Do this. Just... Yeah. I like so. And then go up here. And then... that's not suspicious at all, lizards. Not suspicious at all. You. While I'm here, grab another Khornite Calefactor. Not that we're likely to need it. Alrighty, so yeah, you just have to sit there by virtue of the fact that you don't have Siege Attacker, unfortunately. What would be nice if one of the techs gave our Blood Hosts the Siege Attacker ability. That'd be real swell. You. Can you reach this? Oh, wow. I'm shocked, but pleasantly surprised. Go kill Contagiake. I guess we'll ignore this then. They'll heal up, but they should really move towards Crookback Mountain instead. We will auto-resolve this. I'm gonna hope that the game doesn't screw us. And... okay, no, we're okay. I was concerned about it. Go for... Reap Captives. A little bit of extra damage. Mission successful, and that puts us right in range of Crookback Mountain itself. We will besiege it, and we will see if anybody else comes out to play. And if we attack, we want to switch stances. Oh wait, you're tier 5, meaning if we sack it, we can occupy a tier 3, and still, well, we probably wouldn't be able to keep the Iron Smelter, but looking pretty good. How many territories do you have? Is it all of this? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, this is a ruin. So yes, that's exactly it. Alright, I'm happy with that. And with our borders. And are you at war with the Clan Rictus? Yes, you are. Alright, so yeah, you go over there. You go over there. Gulgast. I was gonna see if you can't find Grimgor. I don't really see him, though. Who is he fighting, out of curiosity? He's fighting this... Oh, right, he's fighting the Servants of the Conclave still. He has to have been fighting somebody else, too, right? Anyway, I'm gonna just briefly have you take the Valley of Horns, because it's gonna bother me that nobody has it. We'll have you occupied, then we'll loop around to grab Vale of Titans. It might even be beneficial to ignore Grimgor, and since we've already wiped out Gorbad, we fought a lot of orcs as well. We could ignore them completely and then head you this way. If we're going to Valley of Horns anyway, move towards the rats. Huh. Maybe we could just tell you to occupy Valley of Horns. Maybe that would be better. Alright, I will think about it. We do have the turn. To think, that is. Eddie! You are going to go past World's Edge Mountains. You will suffer attrition from mountain passes. That's fine. And you can hit Mount Silver Spear while Grawl moves to Mount Greyhag. Good. And should these guys have another settlement capital, or is Crookback Mountain the only one they have? No, they have the Tower of Gorgoth. Oh, we get some... Physical... Oh. We have to have this. Where is this? The Demon Stump. Okay, this I did not realize. Yeah, 10% extra physical resistance. I don't really care about the bloodthirster reductions because yeah, good luck getting bloodthirsters in any reasonable amount, but that's what the cultists have been for, and they've been doing a great job at it. Pav and Arbal, go here, raise Zoishank. But before you do, switch this guy to Chaos Knight. You are 1 point short, alright. And auto-resolve. We'll damage the Beastmen Giants, but frankly we're used to it, and then we'll skulls it up just because I don't want to stay here. I like so. Plus we, yeah, gotta have at least 100,000 skulls. We did want to grab Kislev, and okay, I can't believe these guys still have us. Oh wow, what the heck? Lorn is here? Interesting. Shocking. Alright, you guys go together. We'll leave everything here in ruins, though funnily enough the rats could just reoccupy it, and they don't like us because... oh, they don't care. And we'll just ignore them. And they'll never get help it back, so they're probably never going to recover. We could kill them at any point if we wanted to. Now, it would be scavenly appropriate for them to try to retake their territory as soon as we go away, opportunistically, I mean. Anyway, I don't think there's any army here, so Bloodbound, I'm gonna have you... there could be somebody at Mount Silver Spear. Do we risk it? Do we risk Bloodbound dying? Go here. Right to the edge of enemy territory. Actually, no, I'd go to the edge of our own territory because you have mana flowing here, and I don't want to lose mana. There we go. Anybody else? Anybody else? So what do we have here? Moxia! Yes, somebody else. Moxia versus Belagar and the defenders of Carrick Buftar. Oh, this should be a nice fight, Moxia. Let's get your Khorne marked and Deathbringer. You have Fight or Die, you don't need Speed or Malice or Malevolent Ranger in this particular army, just to double check. Thick Skin, there's a good reason to have been getting that. And it's not like we really need the spell resistance here. We do have Paragon of Carnage, but we need another point. I'm gonna say for this fight, we're getting to get the spell resistance, just because the likelihood of, you know, getting focused down by approximately 1 billion range units is pretty high. Alrighty. This should be fun. The last stand of Belagar, Ironhammer, Karazakarak has fallen, Karak-Kadrin has fallen. This may be the very last dwarfen presence on the entire map, or at the very least regular dwarfen presence. Let's, oh my lord, look how tiny the little engineer looks compared to the Demon Prince. Isn't it adorable? You could just stomp him, smush him. Cute. Anyway, go. Alrighty, here we go. Looks like Angrun's last stand has a choke point battle, though unfortunately for Angrun, they're coming in as reinforcements by and large on the other side of the map. And interestingly, usually when this happens, the AI will deploy its army close to where its reinforcements are coming in, but this time, it looks like they're not doing that. It looks like this master engineer will attempt to hold the line by himself, perhaps to buy enough time for us to... that's a brave dwarf right there. For his army to try to get to the choke point. Yeah, he's not going to have a good time against the Demon Prince getting sent flying, and then the Demon Prince just saunters up menacingly. And the poor Master Engineer is done, even with a few arrows from some Rangers coming in. He's got about half of his HP remaining, while the Rangers will get torn to shreds by the Bulgors and the Bloodbrute Behemoth there. Alrighty, and brave though it was, it had to end sometime as the Master Engineer is brought down, or Guildmaster. And now we move to... we got red, blue, and yellow. Well, at least the color schemes make it very easy to pick apart all of the different units here. Alrighty, what was I saying? Yeah, there was a Ranger unit here as well, but it gets obviously obliterated within seconds. They had no chance here. But absolutely credit where it's due. Alrighty, well, since they did that, rather than engaging the enemy army here, we are going to honor their efforts and allow them to take the choke point. That's what dwarfs do best after all, defending those choke points of theirs, especially as they are thusly able to cover all of their range units and not have them immediately attack. So let them. And we'll see how well our army does in the choke point. We will back off, allow them to take their position that they so wanted, that they sacrificed that Guildmaster for, and then we'll fight them on their terms. It is Angrun's last stand. Might as well give them a nice fight. And ooh, Belagar is rank 14 to the 16 of Moxia, so they're roughly even. He's got 96 melee defense. And his melee attack will massively increase with Revenge Incarnate. For 90 seconds, it's a very long one as well. Should be good. Alright, it's time to go. The enemy has reached the choke point, and Moxia has been taking arrow after arrow, or bolt after bolt, I should say, this entire time, just to allow the enemy to close. He is going to take a few gouts of flame, but he was born of this and probably doesn't care that much. Before closing the distance right into the center of the enemy formation to go after Belegar. There we go. See, if Belegar had come out here to duel Moxia one-on-one, he could have had the chance there instead of leaving the Guildmaster to do it. Anyway, time for the rest of our units to close in. Obviously, the faster moving units of Minotaurs of Khorne will close the distance first, fighting the enemy melee units, but of course in doing so, it leaves the range units open to, well, quite literally fire. The Iron Drakes are trying to focus Moxia down, and though their flamethrower units, they're not to be underestimated in terms of single target damage. They can and will destroy stuff. Moxia is below half of his HP now, because Belegar's not dueling on his own, but we got a healing potion to bring him back up, and in the meantime, the other choke point was left relatively unprotected. The couple of units of Quarrelers and whatnot quickly get overrun by the Forsaken, and that allows us to start closing the distance with more enemy range units. Moxia is up to half HP, and Belegar's down to about 25% of his now. We counteracted all the extra damage we took via the Gouts of Flame through the healing potion, and it looks like Moxia should be able to carry the day against Belegar. And the King of Eight Peaks will die nowhere closer to Eight Peaks than when he started, really. Alrighty, and it looks like one or two more hits remain on Belegar. The enemy army is surrounded now. I think there's one Ghost Pal in here as well, not the usual number, but at least he got one. Alright, come on. Oh, one of the Minotaurs is in the way. Gotta deliver that final blow. What are you doing, man? Come on. And now they're in the way. Well, maybe one of the Minotaurs can deal the final blow. Somebody. And this is the issue with using too many big boys like this. And there it is with that. Belegar falls. And his army is still fighting at least a little bit, but by the looks of their leadership, they're having a pretty bad time. The Gorgons, of course, towering over their battle lines, and all of their range units now engaged and unable to aid the melee units, though admittedly there probably aren't all that many of the melee units left in the first place. Ah, there's a Ghost Pal right here, trying to get the one of the Gorgons to attack, and it is down to about 20% of its HP anyway. Alright, Moxia, by the virtue of trying to fight Belegar while under fire from everybody, took the most damage in this army by far, losing about 80% of his HP. Actually, probably losing something like... How much do healing potions heal for? Is it 30% or 15%? Well, plus the extra HP afforded by the healing potion. But at the end of the day, it still was not enough, and soon the Angrund army shatters, leaving only the ghostly Thane to continue the fight until we bring him down for good. Alright, until somebody brings him down for good. There we go. The Demon Prince will land and deliver the final blow. The Gorgons didn't have magical attacks, and the 75% physical resistance was going to take way too long. There we go. Frankly, what I probably should have done is had Moxia quickly move to wipe out the Ghost Pal first before going after Belegar, but, you know, he had to go for the enemy lord. It only makes cornate sense. Alrighty, there we go. A magnificent last stand for Belegar, Ironhammer, and Clan Angrund. And I did mock tiny little Grimly Stronghold, but he is aptly named as he did hold strong, standing in that choke point alone, effectively against the Demon Prince. He didn't deploy near Belegar where the reinforcements were coming, but sought to hold us off. And thus we had to honor him and give him that choke point, or give the rest of their army that choke point in honor of Grimly's sacrifice. Absolutely magnificent, and a fantastic duel between Belegar, who did about 5,000 damage to the Demon Prince within the midst of his forces. All told, a glorious little bit of fighting there. And with 37k damage on the Bloodbrute Behemoth, 17 and 24 out of cure. He also 29 on one of the Minotaurs with twin axes. The Bulgors obviously don't benefit from our red line, but they are keeping up, and they do have less models, meaning they are a little bit less likely to die as well. But anyway, very happy with that last stand. We will take the Devour, offer us tribute. I think these guys, we don't need to offer us tribute, but these guys were worthy of being offered as tribute. Alrighty, and defeated Belegar doesn't really matter for us, but it was a nice fight. Buftar is their last territory, which we will raise. Yes? Yes. And skulls for the Skull Throne. 42k though. It's tempting, but again, honor their sacrifice and take their skulls. Moxia. That's a question. Where did that other little army... Oh, they went to Kingsglade, huh? Interesting. Alright, start moving around this way. We'll see. We'll see what we want to do and have time for. Alright, you still need heroes. Maybe we should just get random ones. I really wanted somebody with commander, and whatever it was. Not menace. You'll definitely need a couple of exalted heroes, at the very least of the same type, though. Because it always bothers me when they're different types, because then I have to remember which one has which contact effect, and it's much of a hassle. Alrighty, anyway, anything else we need to do this particular turn? Kuchar, you will... Huh? What is this? What is this? Why aren't you able to... Huh? What the heck? Is anybody else finding this weird? There's no... Is there a ford here? Oh, it's a river crossing. Oh, I didn't realize that. Alright, fine, cross the river. Cross over to this side. I wanted to see where Nessa was, so let's keep that in mind. Delivery Evolve. Get some more, at least for now. Get a couple more base Marauders. Alrighty. Farmort, you have recruited some of these guys. I was going to see whether there was anything else that we would want to recruit, or whether we just want to start moving rather than waiting. Funnily, if we really wanted to, we could grab a couple of Skull Crushers. They will take 2 turns, but it's not so bad. I don't think there's anything else that's critical here. Do we want to wait for the Skull Crushers? It might take so long for the other ones to level up to Skull Crushers that... Yeah, I'll just build them. Yeah, I'll just build all 4, screw it. Frankly... Whatever. It's gonna take a while for those guys to reach rank 8, so yeah. Karan and Tor, you guys are all good here. Ogren, you're good. Felman, Defalson, you were actually supposed to start recruiting something, but I think it's next turn. Where are we here? Yeah, I don't see Blood Crushers. No, that's a Forsaken. I don't see Blood Crushers. Okay, so I guess that's next turn. Alright, well then, I do believe there's nobody else except building, so building we shall build, and if we run out of money because I didn't stack the place, then I'm stupid. Taking all bets. Alrighty, Land of Assassins. Okay, that's gonna be expensive. Dimensional Cascade. Yeah, the more of these we have, the more likely we are to run out of money. Go figure. I should also double check the missions, just in case. Land of the Dervishes. Sudenburg. Do we have a Jugger Plant? Wow, no Jugger Plant. It sickens me. Let's go for this one. Alright, Kingdom of Beasts. Keep building those trophy halls. That has not changed. And we can here build Foundry Scythes and Hunting Fields. Fortress of Dawn. Keep going for Dimensional Breach, please. Demonium Hills. You will want to build a defensive structure here, just in case the elves come around, or more elves come around. I was going to build a defensive structure at the Tower of Torment. That hasn't changed either. Definitely iron, and upgrade the iron building, and then get these guys a Jugger Plant. Jungles of the Gods. What do we have money-wise? Still okay, at least for now. Let's get one of these Cultist Camp dies. I mean, Khorne has to have dyes. You gotta dye stuff red. Blood doesn't actually work very well as a dye, I'm willing to bet, because it'll be more like a brownish than reddish if you dye stuff with it, right? So yeah, Khorne needs dyes. If anything, it should be a very important structure just by virtue of it. Think of the color coordination we wouldn't have without those precious dyes. Eastern Border Princes. What do we have here? Infernal Citadel. We'll run it down to 20k, and then we'll probably stop, because I fear something will happen and we'll go completely negative, and then, you know, that's not good. I'll do this. And this. Is that good? Well, we still have 5k. Well, no, I think it's too much now. Alright, fine, we'll stop the rest. Diplomacy, real quick missions. Nope, we're good. Skip building. Hero not moved. I think that's enough. Outpost upgrade, don't care. And I believe we're good. Actually, just to quickly see. Yeah, we don't have a crazy amount with anybody, really. Might be able to get a flyer out of the Harbinger of Disaster, like a single one, but really not all that much. Alrighty, I guess we're ending the turn. Oh, and we're also kind of out of time, but, well, let's just see if anything interesting happens. Oh, I forgot about Grenstad. Huh. That's interesting. I wonder if Reisard Frochlichmann will go here. Hopefully these guys aren't... he will indeed. Alright. Well then. I was not expecting this, but this is a pleasant enough of a surprise that I think we'll fight it. Go.
Leave nothing alive. Rejoice in slaughter.
Alrighty, here we go, as Skarbrand and his little tiny army is, well, pretty much fully able to Vanguard deploy, so we're going to immediately go towards this enemy army. That does, however, mean immediately taking a ton of damage. Skarbrand loses about 25% of his HP, and the Khorne's Bloody Fist and does the same as we close the distance. We do charge on in with our other single entities towards the Flagellants, but unfortunately for the AI, launching grenades where your unarmored infantry guys are fighting seems like it doesn't go so well. The critical thing here to do is not actually the tank or anything of that nature, but the war wagons. We immediately move towards them to try to wipe them out with those Skarby and, well, everybody here. Or the Khorne's Bloody Fist. As SFO war wagons are absolutely insanely high damage dealers at sniping single entities, and I am terrified of allowing them to stay on field. So, they're the first target. Not the mortar war wagons, which aren't really a threat to us, but the main ones. The Soul Grinder, in the meantime, a little bit of machinery versus machinery, will try to duel the enemy tank or Master Engineer as he tries to hold them off, of course, with a band of, you know, whatever infantrymen he's got. Still, I like to say the machinery clash with each other. Very nice. Alright, and of course some cannonry exchanges from the cannons of the steam tank and the precursor weapon of the Soul Grinder. Actually, is it technically? Yeah, it is technically a precursor weapon, yeah. I've actually seen the AI essentially use the Khornate Soul Grinders as missile units. It always feels very weird. Like, it'll park them in missile range, acting as if the precursor weapons are true sort of a missile unit, or missile weapons. And just use them as artillery support. It's very strange, but anyway. Strange but not important. With the enemy war wagons destroyed, the main threat is out of the picture. We now move towards the enemy tank that the Soul Grinder's been working on, but all of the sheer amount of range firepower has been dishing out some hurt here. Everybody is at half HP, which ain't so great for us. On the bright side, however, our reinforcements have arrived with the 4 Cygors to support the Skull Reapers in this particular army. No Wrathmongers here. I was originally thinking maybe we get Tavi 1 Wrathmonger to act as his command squad, but I think this is fine as it is. And the Skull Reapers will do just fine. I'm sure we don't need to push it to ridiculous levels, but we'll see. We'll see how his army performs when it's by itself, rather. Anyway, now that the first army is effectively destroyed, we just gotta make sure we chase down and destroy what remains. You shouldn't be this damaged. And I think the tank should be dead. There might be a desync here. Well, we'll see if the desync confers anything weird. Leaving the tank like this is a little bit annoying because it means that nobody will attack it. But you know, occasional little desyncs happen like that. Yeah, it seems to be with certain units surviving for some reason. There may be an effect that isn't conferred in the replays that's allowing units to survive. Because remember when, it was like 5 episodes ago now, but when we fought Boris Ursus the second time, I think, he had a bunch of little Groms, and... He had a bunch of little Groms, and I recall that both of them survived due to a desync when they shouldn't have. And I think the same thing is happening with the steam tank here. But anyway, I suppose not super important. What is important is the enemy main stack, or the reinforcements have arrived and are moving towards us, and these Cygors will be chucking those rocks at them. And the infantrymen are going to have a very bad time here. 4 Cygors on the hill in this manner, while everybody else moves towards the hill to try to defend there instead. And these guys have got a long time to travel up here. Now, yeah, the Soul Grinder should not be this badly beat up as well. I think like all of these units should be dead at this point, but yeah. Well, trust me when I say that these units did in fact die, and this is fine. And these guys should be attacking here, but I guess because of the nature of the desync specifically with the tank, everybody else is acting differently. But all good. Shouldn't make too much of a difference at the end of the day. And I think it's not a big or important enough battle to warrant just redoing it, because it's still mostly going as it's supposed to. Fun part of it was the Cygors attacking these guys, and that's still happening. Or the unique part of it, I suppose I should say. Yeah, see, there's an Master Engineer there that is just plinking away at us, and Skarbrand is just sitting there taking range damage because of the desync. Oh, wow, yeah, okay, then he's just gonna sit there, isn't he? Huh. And I feel like the Skull Reaper should have moved as well at this point. Just want to see what's gonna happen here. Huh, the Chaos Knights are moving, but these Skull Reapers are all sitting there. A little bit odd, but I suppose it is what it is. And unfortunately for the AI, it foolishly drew Skarbrand into the fight despite not having him not having any commands, and thus it's going to suffer for it. Plus the rest of our units are moving in now. Well, not the Skull Reapers, but the Cygors still chucking those rocks at them and doing pretty solid amounts of damage. 15k damage and 100 kills on one. Skarbrand's in the middle of the enemy formation. And the Chaos Knights are here as well, plus that's nice, it's an opportunity to watch Chaos Knights do their thing. And this is the Lance variant, so frankly we probably shouldn't keep them in combat that long. They're supposed to be reliant on their charge, because they have they have lower melee attack and melee defense stats compared to the Axe and Board variant. But only 20 higher charge bonuses, I recall. Probably more armor-piercing weapon damage. I gotta double check. I assume that's the case. I'm surprised that they have less attack, though. Like, I get their melee defense being lower and that of the sword and board being higher, but the attack being lower seems a little bit odd. Not that it matters over much. They're still great units. Alrighty, though they are taking damage, it's primarily by virtue of this somewhat desync. And it looks like our Skull Reapers have at last started to move and try to help out against the infantry, but the infantry have already by and large been destroyed by a combination of our monstrous units and our Cygors. Now, Cygor is still chucking those rocks, but it looks like with that the enemy army shatters and the battle is ours. Since there's a desync and the Master Engineer is not recognized, I'm pretty sure none of our units will actually attack it. So suffice it to say that the enemy army does get destroyed here, and we're good to go. All right, there we go. Pleasantly surprised by the fight, and it was actually rather close for Skarbrand and his merry band of murderers. They were kept very much damaged and back by the Pistoliers and the War Wagons, which are fantastic snipers, 8,000 damage on one of them here. And then the Noble Sons Abroad have the Stagger Shot, minus 50% speed application on them. All told, a good sign of, future battles against the, I was about to say Kislevites Imperials. The Cygors came into the battle rather late. We let them, do their thing and attack the second little reinforcing army, and they did quite well. And then, of course, the Skarmor moved in, and the Skull Reapers took them out. A lovely work all around, I'd say. I'm going to go and... Skarby should have plenty of Devour Captives for a million billion turns. I'm going to say Reap Captives this time around. And, oh, wait, did one of the units from the garrison escape? I would have expected we would be able to raise it. Oh well. Bloody Hands, what you want? Non-aggression pact. How about... no. On the other hand, rather than fighting the Bloody Hands, we should probably just fight the... lizards. More likely than not. Alright, enemy killed in battle. Spotter Spyglass, Shrieking Blade. Hey, another Hellblade. Nice find. Warrior Bane for Tavi. That's actually good for somebody like Tavi. Gorby's Chariot for Kailas Tukkraus. I don't know who you are. Oh, this guy. Yeah, hold on to it for now. I'll think about it. Wow, I'm not saying that. Who are you? And what army are you in? Oh, you're in this army. And yeah, you should actually be on that Blood Throne and not on the Juggernaut. Good for you. Alrighty, and hey, Chaos Invasion Reapers. Well, we started to invade the Empire, and go figure, we complete the Chaos Invasion. Oh, that's where the Hellblade came from. Quest. Lovely. Now, all the quests are completed, and on top of that, I believe... Let's see, well, we went over 100,000 skulls. Well, we wanted the 40k, we got 100k. And the long victory we got on turn like 35 or something. And funnily enough, we're actually close to domination campaign victory. Go figure. Perhaps unsurprisingly, this is Khorne after all. Anyway, I guess we'll make domination victory the goal, the final goal for this particular campaign. And in addition to that, wait. These guys own Nawantla? Oh, yeah, they have a second territory. Go figure. I'll think about it. I was thinking maybe we just vassalize the Bloody Hands. Just rather than fighting. We could destroy them easily, but again, we fought enough greenskins and not enough lizards, and I don't... Again, we don't have time to do everything anymore. So anyway, we'll figure it out next time. For now, though, the time is up, and thusly, I'm going to call this particular episode here, so stay tuned for more Khorne. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and... oh, wow, that's going to take a while. Might be faster to go around Steingart? Steingart, rather? I'll think about it anyway. Yeah, a couple more episodes left, so stay tuned for those. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.